What are you doing, Charlie? Was you laying on the bed? Was you laying on my bed? Huh? Were you taking a nap? Huh? What are you doing? Oh, you want your belly rubbed, don't you? Yes. You're such a good kitty. Look at you guys. You guys are getting so big. There's 3 of yous there. Pretty soon you get to go outside. Yep, I'm gonna put you in the other. All my cookies. I've got in this bucket, I've got chocolate chip cookies that I did in the video. Aren't those pretty? I've got several kinds out here. Let's see if I can open this one with one hand. Ooh, those are my no-bakes. Those look nice. And this one is very hard to open with just one hand. But those are all my peanut butter blossoms, and I got a couple of chocolate chips on the top. That's because I took a picture and then just set them up there. And this one, oh my goodness, that's my butterscotch cookies, my butterscotch crinkle cookies. Oh, I love them. They smell wonderful. And then in this one, these are my little, I can't get it open. Well, anyway, I can't get that one open. Those are my Nilla wafers, and I drizzled a little chocolate on them, my homemade vanilla wafers. These are my peanut butter cookies, and aren't those cute? You know, when you make peanut butter cookies, you can push them down with a fork or whatever. Well, I used a meat cleaver, and that's the big end, and this is the little end of the meat cleaver. And look at how nice those look, that design it gives them. Almost like waffles. And then here is all my chocolates that I made that are going to go in my Christmas baskets. And then today I'm going to make whipped shortbread. And I have to also make, to finish these, I have to make whipped shortbread and my little Russian tea cakes or snowball cookies, you know, Mexican wedding cakes. There's several names for them. I just call them Russian tea cakes, but they are the snowball cookies. You'd be familiar with that. So, and then when that's done, we're going to do videos on putting my Christmas baskets together. Hello, friends. How's everybody today? I showed you the Charlie. She's just a chubby little thing that loves laying on my bed. And I showed you the chickens. Oh my gosh, I got about another week, and then they'll have all their feathers. They're doing really good. They'll have all their feathers, and then I can get them moved out into the chicken coop. But it'd be perfect if it would stay this way, but our weather is nuts. We were, let's see, the last few days, we were at like 9 below. And then yesterday it was 34 degrees and raining. So it gets warm and cold, and it freezes, and it's just a disaster. But yesterday, since it was a little bit warmer, even though it was a little rainy out, I went up to the hardware, and they always give me as much as I want of their wood chips and a little bit of sawdust, whatever I want. So yesterday I went up there and I grabbed 4 huge lawn and leaf bags, and I shoveled them full of I did 1 of sawdust, and then the other 3 I did of wood chips. And then I come home and I layered it all into the chicken coop, because I do the deep litter method for them. And especially when it's so cold up here is what we have, that really works up here for them. So I spread it all through their coop, and I do that probably every 3 weeks, I bet. 2 to 3 weeks, I'll get a few bags and I'll put it in there. And it's wonderful. And boy, I'll tell you, when I get that out of there in the spring, when I open that coop up and I can shovel that out and throw it in my compost, won't that be wonderful? Anyway, so I got the chickens all taken care of yesterday. These guys are going to go out in between 1 and 2 weeks. Oh, I got something in my eye. Between 1 and 2 weeks. Charlie don't go out in winter. She's hilarious. She'll scratch at the door like she wants to go out. She's like a dog with that. She'll scratch at the door and then stare at you. And I open the outside door and she looks at me like, "Oh, lady, you're nuts. I'm not going out there." So she's okay though. And she gains all her weight in the wintertime when she just lays around. In the summertime, she goes out running around, and she's outside most of the time in the summer, and she loses a lot of weight. So, which probably isn't too healthy for them, but I'll show you where she lays. And I think you'll be able to see it pretty good from here. If you look over there, let me zoom in on it. You'll see her on the back of my couch. That's where Charlie likes to lay. Kitty, kitty, kitty. See? She's pretty. Anyway, so let me go back down here. So that's where she likes to lay. And I can't wait to get the chickens out of here. Though my house doesn't smell like chickens, which I do my best to keep them clean. But that's all they do is eat and poop. So, you know, that box it's a disaster in there. But you don't smell them through the house, nor do you smell my cat. My house is nice and clean. I love it that way. Anyway, this holiday season has been so hard for me. I don't think I've ever really shared this before because this is private for me. But I have Hashimoto thyroiditis. I've had Hashimoto's disease since I've been 17. So it's been a whirlwind all my life with it. But anyway, very seldom do I ever get what's called a Hashimoto's flare. And any of you that suffer with Hashimoto's disease know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, after all these years, because I'm 53, I'll tell anybody I'm 53 years old. I was diagnosed at 17, and I could write a book on it. I'm not a medical doctor, but I could write a book on my experience with it. It is not fun. But this last probably week and a half, I have had a lingering Hashimoto flare, and it's awful. You get brain fog. You just can't even hardly function because you can't think straight. It's a lot like somebody who suffers from fibro flares. Only I don't know how long a fibro flare lasts because I know nothing about that. But you get the brain fog and you have no energy. Your heart flutters. You get panic attacks. You get anxiety attacks. It is not fun, and none of it, you just can't control it, no matter what you do. I did not have the energy to even walk across the floor, but I wasn't physically sick. I had the brain fog. My biggest thing was the panic attacks and the fluttering heart. That's awful. Absolutely awful, but it's tied together. Hashimoto's or even hypo or hyperthyroid, they get the heart palpitations. Those are awful, and if you've never had one, they will set you back in your seat and you think you're dying. And then, it's one of those things where you're not sure if the palpitations cause the panic attack or if a panic attack causes the palpitations. Go figure. All I know is you have them, and it's miserable. But now, I think it's past because I've got a lot of energy, and I feel wonderful. So now, since Christmas is just around the corner, I've got so many things I want to do, but I know I'm not going to be able to get all the videos done that I want before Christmas. But I want to do some Christmas baskets. I'm definitely going to do the video for the Christmas cookies, my Christmas cookie baskets. Definitely going to do that. I wanted to do like gift baskets. How you can do gift baskets on a budget. You can get some really nice stuff from like Dollar General and Dollar Tree, the dollar stores. You can get some really nice high-end items and put together beautiful little baskets. I also, this year, I want to show you, it probably won't be in the same video, but I do, this year I'm giving away, to some of my family members, I'm giving them spice blends. You know, my spice blends that I do. Well, I shouldn't say I do. The ones that my mother gives me the recipes for. I'm going to, those make a wonderful, wonderful gift. You know, the rubs and the, like, Italian seasonings and just your spice combinations. And you put them in the little jelly jars or the little half pint jars. Put a pretty bow or a ribbon on them. They're wonderful and people love them. People absolutely love them. So I'm going to show you a couple of those, and we're going to decorate those and get those ready for Christmas. And I'm going to be going to Travers next Tuesday. So with that, with my mother, and we're going to stop at Dollar Tree. We like to go in there. I know they have one in Manistee, but she needs to go to Travers, so I'm going to ride with her, and we're going to go to that one. And that's where I'm going to pick a few items that I'm going to give away for gifts in my family. And I'm going to show you how I put together those baskets. And they're just darling. Once you get an idea of one, the ideas just flow, you know. So I'm also going to do, let's see, they're soup blends. You know, the dry soup mixes, which when you buy them in the store, they are not by any means cheap. Not budget friendly whatsoever. But most of the stuff you've already got in your pantry, and you can put together some beautiful, beautiful gifts in a jar. And who doesn't like soup? You know, you can put together some nice bean soup, some chicken soup, all kinds of stuff, and then all they have to do is just add their meat if they so choose. So I'm going to do a video on that too, because that I'm going to be giving away. And the other thing I thought was real cute is my granddaughter, the one I call Tootsie Bells, Mercedes. She is in love, absolutely, she loves popcorn. And she fell in love with my air popper. And I thought, well, by gosh, I'm going to have to get her one for Christmas, you know. And I'm going to do it and fix up like a nice big basket for like a moviegoers. So she has her popcorn popper and all her little snacks and her popcorn. And maybe I'll throw a movie in there, you know. And what a nice present that would be under her tree. From Santa, of course. And my friend said to me, oh gosh, it was last week we were walking. And we go for a walk all the time. But anyway, she said to me, we were talking about popcorn. And I said, oh, I got an air popper, and I love that thing. And she says, oh, I bought one, and I don't like it. She says, I got the old hand crank one. You know, the one that you put on a stove and you hand crank it. And she says, well, I got a brand new air popper. So if you know anybody who would like it, she says, it's pretty red. And if you know anybody who'd like it, just let me know and I'll give it to them. And I'm like, yeah, right here. I said, my granddaughter wants one so bad. And she said it's brand new. She used it once, so she cleaned it all up. And she doesn't have the box for it. So that's why I thought I'll put it in a basket, you know, make it nice and pretty. So she gave that to me. I said, I'll pay you for it. She's like, no, just have it. So wonderful. So I got half of her present put together, and when we go up to the Dollar Tree, I'll get the popcorn and all kinds of other stuff, you know, to go with it, or else I'll just run down here to our local Amish shop, and I get a lot of stuff down there, and then I'll probably order her a movie or something to go with it, you know. But there's a lot of things you can do for Christmas for DIY on a budget, so I'm going to share some of it with you, and you know, some of it will be ideas that I'm really not going to show you, I'll just tell you. And then, you know, you go from there. An idea, when an idea is born, all kinds of stuff will follow. Hope y'all have your coffee. It's warmer out today. It's 34 degrees, 35 degrees today, but it rained all yesterday. I was sure the kids wouldn't have school today, but it didn't freeze overnight. So they're all at school, and everything's doing good. My tree is up. You've seen the video that the little girls put the tree up. They did all the decorations all themselves. Isn't it just darling? I just love it. And you know what makes it so special? The grandbabies did it. And little Cece is getting so big. So many of you said they're growing in leaps and bounds. Yes, they are. And she's 6 months old. She'll be 6 months old. 6 months old on the 23rd. And she's already getting up on her little hands and knees, and she's rocking. That is so darn cute. And then she manages to get herself scooting forward. But I told my daughter, Susie, I said, boy, she's going to take off crawling, and there's going to be no stopping her. She is just a muffin. I just love them kids. And pretty soon they'll be on Christmas break. Now, they were here last night. I went and got them from school. And I knew they were coming, so I put a roast with carrots and potatoes, and I made them a really nice dinner so they could have dinner with me. And no matter what I cook for them, I always have to make, and my mother started this, I always have to make a pan of rice, a little bit of rice with some cream of mushroom soup in it. They absolutely devour it. They love it. So I made some of that to go with their roast, even though they had potatoes too. But they ate it. They ate everything. They're such good eaters. But my mother, when she takes them up to her house, she always makes them the rice with mushroom soup in it. They love it. Yeah, feed them. I feed them anything they want. Well, not all the junk. I mean, I got a candy dish for them. What grandma doesn't have a candy dish? I think you can see it right on the edge of my screen. It's sitting right there on my TV. Or my TV stand. Anyway, so I always have that full of Hershey Kisses or some little Christmas candy, or, to go with the seasons and the holidays. I fill it all the time. And I don't let them eat too much, just a few pieces, Otherwise they'll be hanging from the ceiling fans. I filled my bird feeders, so now it takes, after you fill your bird feeders, it takes about, I seem to think maybe close to a week before they discover that it's there. And so I got them all full, and I just got, I went to the hardware the other day when I got it was before. I got a great big huge 50-pound bag of black sunflower seeds because I give those to the chickens too. It's good for them. And so I just got to fill my little owl feeder that I have, and I fill it with that and a suet in the winter. So that's all set to go. I just got to fill it. And I just didn't feel good. That's all there was to it. I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm never going to make it through this Christmas season feeling the way I did. I got to get that. That's the hubby. Okay, I'm back. That was the hubby. He told me yesterday he was going to Southern California from Texas, which is a nice run anyway. Well, they changed it. He gets to go to Portland, Oregon. So that's a nice run for him. And his student is doing real good. So he's pleased. So anyway, I don't remember where I was without having to back up the video. But I've got a few more cookies, two more types of cookies to make, and I'll be done and ready for my baskets. They're doing good. I love my sun porch in the wintertime. I tell you all the time it's my walk-in cooler. It's huge and I love it. And it's always very, very cold out there. It's like a refrigerator. So I call it my walk-in cooler. Anyway, I put a huge puzzle together the other day. I fell in love with it. And where is my box to? I'll show you if I can get to it. Let's see here. I've got it over here. Maybe I can squeeze back here and get it. Maybe not. I got it all put together now, and it's on my spare bed in the bedroom because I want to preserve it and frame it. And I think I'm just going to do that with a little Mod Podge. Isn't this cute? I'm going to frame this. Now I got it all put together. Look at that picture, the eggs and the rolls and everything on there. It's darling. It's called Grandma's Pantry. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's so cute. Well, we can go up to the library and get free puzzles. And I love puzzles. I love building puzzles. And every now and then, I usually put them together and then I take them apart, put them in a box, and take them back to the library or give them away or whatever. But every now and then I'll frame one. Well, I have one. It's all the Petoskey stones. It's all the Michigan stones. The Petoskey stone, the pudding stone, all these nice stones. And it's in the map was in the shape of Michigan. So I put that together with all the rocks, and it was so pretty that I wound up framing it, and it hangs in my spare bedroom. But on this one I'm going to do that with, I'm going to glue it together, and I'm going to frame it, and I'm going to put it in my pantry. And I'm going to put it in the same frame that I had another picture of a little cottage and outdoor, an outdoor area in a cottage. So I'm going to do that. And that'll be fun. And I might do a video on that. That probably won't be till January or so. And I might do a video and show you how I do that. And get it hung up in the pantry. It'd be cute. But I fell in love with that picture. I thought, my gosh, that's so fitting for the pantry. Anyway, so, oh my gosh. It's been a time, I'll tell you. I've got so much left to do. I just don't know where to begin. I got so far behind when I was sick that I don't think I'll ever, I won't get it all done. There's no doubt about it. I won't get it all done. But I plugged away at it even when I was sick, and that was hard. So, but come January, there's going to be lots of videos, lots more videos. Hopefully, pretty soon. I don't know. I like the every other day video. It gives me a nice schedule, and I'm not ramming and tearing, and I can really focus on the videos. And, I guess in this case, to me, quality outdoes quantity. So that's why I keep myself at every, I do a video, I have it scheduled every other day. And I know some people do them 3 times a week, but I don't want to lose my friends on here. I'm not worried about losing subscribers or anything like that. I do this. This is like a hobby. I love to share my life and my homesteading and my recipes and my ideas and all the wisdom that I have gained over my life. I like to share that. So I don't have to do this for an income. It's like, so I'm not forced to do that. Although I do have my videos monetized, and what money I do make from them, I use to buy supplies and stuff to keep going, and that helps. But that's not my only source of income, so that's good. But I do like the every other day video, and I'll probably continue to do that. And except in the summertime, I'll probably have videos every day because I do the vlogging in the summer. And the wintertime, there's just not a whole lot to do in the winter except chit-chat. So I'll have quite a few chit-chat videos. And that's all right. I got stories to tell. Lots of them. And I was going to tell you, oh my gosh. I'll have to think about it because I remember I was telling you something and I said, oh, that's a story for another time. Oh my gosh, I remember what it was. When I was showing you my freezer the other day, because I did my Meijer haul, my big grocery haul, which I'm just loaded. Anyway, I'm food rich. Food rich. There's nothing beats it. Anyway, I was showing you my freezer, and I got spooked because on the outside of my windows, we got plastic on the outside. Well, the one come apart, and it was flapping in the breeze. And out of the corner of my eye, I thought somebody was standing there. But that is only because years ago, I bet you it was probably about 9-10 years ago, okay? I did have a peeping Tom. Who wouldn't have pickers peeks in the windows? But, I had it and I couldn't believe it. But anyway, it was so funny. My family still laughs about this because of my reaction. But I had just gotten out of the shower, okay? And I was in all my naked glory in my bedroom with my door shut. I had the curtains open on my window, but how do you say this? Nobody can really see in my window from the road or from anywhere, or my neighbors. The only way you could see in my window is if you're literally standing right there, you know, because it's kind of blocked with trees and it's just blocked. Anyway, so I was standing there and I remember I was looking at the news and I had my hands on my hips and I hadn't gotten dressed, completely naked, friends, completely in my naked glory. I'm standing there looking at the news and all of a sudden I caught something out of the corner of my eye. Never in a million years would I have ever thought I'd have a peeping Tom. But I looked, literally, and I made eye contact with this man looking in my window, but it didn't register. It went right over my head. And I turned back around and I'm looking at the news and it was like an Archie Bunker moment or an Edith Bunker moment. And I turned back around and I looked at him and he was looking at me and I said, "Get the hell out of here." I says, "I'm not paying your therapy. Get out of here." And this guy took off running, and I come running through the house, and I'm hollering at my daughter. I said, oh my God, go hit that man. Go get that man. Go hit him in the head with the shovel. I don't want him to remember this. It was so funny. You had to be there because it just didn't startle me. It was like, of all the windows you've got to peek in, you're going to peek in mine. Are you nuts? You know, I'm not paying your therapy. You're going to look at me in all my naked glory. I don't get embarrassed, for one thing. You know what? It's like my husband said, well, maybe you should wear some clothes. Well, I just got out of the shower, and I'm in my bedroom with my door shut, getting ready to get dressed. I said, Mr. Wayna, that man was peeking in the window on me. He's the pervert, not me. It's not like I'm running around the yard and, you know, naked. Come on, I'm not streaking. I am in my bedroom. Oh my God, but we still laugh about that. Especially because I tell them all the time. I say all the time when somebody says something, I'll say, well, I'm not paying your therapy. That's all there is to it, you know. That man wants to peek in my window when I'm standing there naked. All the more power to him because I am not paying his therapy. It was too funny. But ever since then, whenever, I wasn't traumatized, but whenever I see something in the window out of the corner of my eye, I always associate there's somebody standing there. It was you had to be there. And boy, when I grabbed my bathrobe and I went running out to the door, you know, to open the door. Yes, it was my bathroom, but I was completely covered. He was gone. Gone. I don't even know where he went. He was gone. He was probably 100 miles away looking for a therapist. I don't know. That probably fixed him of ever peeking in anybody's windows again. But that, friends, was a riot. I don't get scared at stuff like that. I don't get traumatized. Not anymore in life. Anyway, I had a friend send me a dozen of these beautiful, beautiful candles. And they're all scented. A dozen of them. I've got them all over my house. I absolutely love them. Some are lemon. This particular one is rosemary. Oh, and it smells so good. I don't have my lighter out here. Otherwise, I'd light it. But it does. It smells wonderful. I've got them in my kitchen. I've got them in my bedroom. And no, I don't burn them all at the same time because I'm always afraid of fire. Yes, I'm insured out my Wazooski, but I'm always afraid of fire. There's some things in here that are very sentimental that I would have trouble losing to a fire. Especially my chickens and my cat, you know. Anything else can be replaced, but there's a few things, pictures and stuff, that you don't want to lose. And speaking of fire and animals, years ago when I was a firefighter, yes, I'm still a level 1 firefighter and first responder, but I'm not affiliated with any I'm inactive. I haven't done firefighting for years now. But when I was a firefighter, I'll never forget this time. We fought this fire. It was horrific. We fought it for like 13 hours we were there because the roof, this was a huge, it was like a building that had been turned into a huge house. And the roof had a layer of shingles and then a layer of metal and then another layer of shingles, and it was a flippin' nightmare. Plus, in this fire, the people were not home, but they had 27 chihuahuas. Let me repeat that. 27 chihuahuas in this house, and they were all in the fire. Plus, they had a Rottweiler dog. All in this house when this fire broke out. Let me tell you, friends, there was dogs upstairs, downstairs, in the basement, dogs everywhere. And I remember I flung on my helmet, put my key on the back, and was getting ready to go in with my partner. And we opened the door, and all these dogs jumped at me. There was like 6 or 7. Well, they had their car parked right in front of the building, so I didn't want to. I had to fix my camera, it died. Anyway, I was saying, we fought this fire with 27 chihuahuas and a Rottweiler in there. And they were upstairs, downstairs, in the basement, all over. Well, yes, like I said, I went in, we opened the door, and all these little dogs jumped at me. And I had like 5 of them in my arms. Well, at the same time, I was the village treasurer, and my office was right across the street, our village hall. So I thought, you know what? We can't put these dogs in this car because what happens if this car starts on fire? You know? No. So I opened up the village office, and we were putting all these dogs in the village, in my office, in the village hall. But I was going across the street, and I never had an opportunity to lower my helmet, because as soon as I opened that door, you open the door, you lower your helmet, or you lower your helmet, open the door, whatever. But I didn't lower my helmet. So my helmet was up, or my face shield was up, and I'm going across the street with all these 5 little dogs just bouncing in my arms, just traumatized. Oh my God, they were traumatized. And although I don't have dogs, I am an animal lover. I'm not a dog person. I don't have the patience for a dog. Anyway, but my heart went out to these little guys. 27 of them. Who has 27 dogs? Unless you're a damn puppy mill, Anyway, so I'm going across the street, and I got all these little dogs, and it was like slow motion. I had my shield up, getting ready to put him in the village office, and the little dog turns around, and he's looking at me, and all of a sudden he starts growling, and he bit me in my lip. He is hanging on my lip. He bit right through my lip. And I thought, oh my God, did that hurt? So I had this dog hanging on my lip, trying to get him. We were fighting that fire. It was just a nightmare. The Rottweiler wound up jumping out the top story window, the second story window. That poor thing, we thought he was going to die. He broke all his legs, but he did survive. And they checked me out after I got bit and stuff. Well, we live up here in the Pickers. We got 2 vets. Take your pick, So I called both vets, and I asked if they, took care of these dogs and whose dogs they belonged to. Well, it just so happened to be the same vet that I had for my cat. And he said, no, you don't have to worry about rabies or nothing like that. Those dogs have all their shots. Those dogs are really very well taken care of. Just so many of them, So I didn't worry about that, but I did get in a fight with the gentleman from animal control because he insisted that I find out which dog bit me because that dog needs to be put down. I'm like, are you kidding me? There's 27 dogs. I can't tell you which one did it. I said, beside of that, why would you do that? Why would you want to put a dog down for biting me when he was traumatized for one thing, and secondly, it's not like he ran across the street and invaded my space and tore me up. I invaded his space, and he was traumatized. He was scared. A little chihuahua. Get out of here, buddy. And I finally told him, because he kept insisting that I come down there and file a formal complaint. I said, no, I'm not going to file a formal complaint. But if you don't leave me alone, I'm going to call the animal activist on you, buddy. Because those dogs don't need to be put down. Those dogs didn't do anything wrong. They bark a lot, but they're not aggressive dogs. Everybody in town knew who they belonged to. We knew the people. Well, I'm not going to have their dogs put down. I bandaged up my lip and put some triple antibiotic ointment on it, and it healed up in a couple days. It was good enough. It's things that happens, that happens. But most of the dogs survived. After we got done fighting that fire, we went in the next morning and we did looking over everything, make sure all the hot spots are gone and whatnot. Anyway, we found one dog in the basement that perished. And she was hiding in one of the cabinets in the basement. It was open, but she was in there. So that was a sad thing. Poor little dogs. Anyway, I've got all kinds of stories I can tell you about stuff that has happened to me or I've done or whatever. But the funniest one of all was that crazy peeping Tom. That was just an absolute riot. But anyway, friends, I've got to get off here because we got to make some shortbread, and we're going to do the whipped shortbread. And then I'm also going to do, same day today, I'm making 2 videos today. Actually 3, because I'm doing this one. You'll see this one tomorrow morning because I'll push the other one forward. But I'm going to do the whipped shortbread, and because my grandkids are coughing and the cold's going around and they're all sniffly and coughing, I'm going to make them some homemade cough drops. And I'm going to do a video on that because they're lemon and ginger cough drops and they're wonderful. So I'm going to do a video on that, the whipped shortbread, and this one. And you all have a good day, and I'll see you when we do the shortbread.